Today we are looking at Evan Bouchard of the Edmonton Oilers. He is from Oakville, Ontario, Canada. He is 6'3", 192 pounds, and he has 28 points in 31 games. So for a defenseman, that is a lot of points. 5 goals, 23 assists. So just looking at that, you think he's an offensive defenseman. He has good size. To me, he looks good on paper. I'm curious to see his defensive abilities and just his overall game. Obviously, he's on Edmonton. He plays with Connor McDavid, Draisaitl. That obviously helps your stats a little bit. But let's take a look at his overall game as a defenseman. Let's check it out. But remember to stay till the end because I will give you my overall summary on Bouchard and a summary of what I think you should take away from this game. The first shift we're going to look at for Bouchard, it's not his first shift, but it's the first kind of noteworthy shift from an analysis perspective. And this one here, he's in the middle of the ice, as we can see. He kind of has all this space here. Ekholm has his guy tied up. From this perspective, I would like to see Bouchard. He's not in a bad spot, but I would kind of like to see him taking a bit more space. He is somewhat anticipating a chip, so that's a good play. But the chip doesn't happen. So here he's kind of drifting to the middle of the ice, and that can get you in trouble because all it takes is this wings player to pick up the puck with speed, and it's tough to angle properly there. So I would like to see Bouchard angling a bit better or gapping a bit better. So let's see how it plays out. And yeah, now, honestly, this angle for the goalie isn't too bad. But again, if he was up a little tighter earlier, he'd be able to take away the space from Comper here. So not ideal, but it's not horrible by any means. So let's see how it plays out. And yeah, that works out fine. But again, it gave Comper there a little more space than I think he deserved. So not bad, but not great. So he's doing a good job. He's got stick tied up just in the front here. I would have liked to see him box out a bit better and avoid this guy from spinning in front. It might make a little more traffic for Pickard than there should be. Didn't go too bad. So now he doesn't necessarily have someone to cover, and he's not going to hop in here into the mix and create even more of a screen. So I think he likes to do this where he kind of hangs out in this space. My only issue there is he wasn't watching everywhere. He was just kind of focused on the puck. So works out well. Let's get out of the zone. But yeah, decent little first shift for him. Next one up here, we have Bouchard holding a nice gap. So the puck, I think, came from over here. And Bouchard's doing a great job of taking that space away. And it's forcing the wings player to make a play. He's not necessarily giving him the zone, which as a defenseman is really important to do. You always want to gap up, take away space when you can. And yeah, that made these guys have to delay. So now they don't have that speed entering the zone. And that's just from Bouchard holding a good gap. Kopp here, he basically has no speed. That just holding the blue line there took Kopp right out of the play. And yeah, McDavid did a good job of pressuring the Brinket there, and it worked out well. And a lot of that stemmed from that gap. And Bouchard did a really good play here. He noticed that Kopp's head was down, and he read this little rim here. And that's a sign to me of good hockey IQ, understanding the flow of the game. He did a nice read there. Nice little chip up, which honestly is pretty much the only option he had. Maybe Ekholm could have gave him a yell there for a bank pass, but nice little chip up. And Edmonton ends up getting it out of the zone. But yeah, that was a good showing of Bouchard's hockey IQ and his awareness of the flow of the game, because that's really important as a defenseman. Now this one here, Bouchard's kind of doing the opposite. His gap isn't the best because basically he's flat-footed at the red line here, so he can't really hold up at the red line now, because if he does, it just takes one quick step and he's beat. So now he's kind of going to have to give up the red line. I would have liked to see him being a little more up here and getting his speed, and then he can angle the forward maybe over to the boards here, which will make him either have to dump it, ice it, or just get rid of the puck. And he's kind of shooting himself in the foot right off the start. Again, I don't know if maybe he just got on the ice, so he's just coming from the bench. But either way, as a defenseman, you really got to think, close the gap. Get up to the play, close the gap. And if he did have a better gap here, he would have been on the puck already. which would allow him to peel back, create space, let his forwards regroup, and reapproach the zone. But here he's kind of now he can't go into it as early as he'd like. And then he does what I call the blind backhand. And what that is see how his back is to the play. He can't necessarily see what's going on behind him. And as we saw earlier, his forwards weren't even there. So this little backhand he's about to do is a coach's nightmare. Does that. It would have been ideal if he at least got it over the blue, so then Detroit can't enter the zone on their attack, but he didn't, and this is not good. And see what they're kind of caught here. They got 3 wings guys and just Ekholm down here. And that's just a result of not having a good gap at the start and then trying that blind backhand. To me, those are fundamentals to defense that you need to have dialed in. So here we have Edmonton on the power play, and I mean, Draisaitl, McDavid on the power play. It's tough to go wrong, but Bouchard, he gets the puck here, so he's doing a good job of giving an outlet to McDavid here, so that's good. Gets the puck, he does a great job, so you never want to be stuck in this area as a defenseman. Your options are just very limited. Your shot angle isn't great, and yeah, so you want to either get your body or the puck to the middle, and Bouchard does a great job. And now see here, his passing options are much better. He's got this one, he has a shot option, and that keeps this guy in check a little bit better. So always try and get to the middle. He does that, puck to McDavid, and now he kind of creeps down. Maybe this is a set play they have, but I would like to see him kind of take this space a little bit better, or even kind of more up here, because that will allow him so much more time to walk in. But he creeps in. It turns into a goal, so I can't say too much. A little Hyman tap in there. But yeah, I would like to see him hang out a bit more to stretch out the defensive zone box. Okay, so here we have Finney of the Wings, and we have a loose puck, and Bouchard's coming in on this white line here. So in these situations, it's very risky, and Bouchard comes in, possibly offside, didn't get called, but Bouchard, he isn't the last guy back, so it's not the worst play. But in that scenario, going in kind of like stick first and trying to dangle is a recipe for disaster, to be honest. I would at least like to see him kind of get his body in front of the puck and protect it, anticipating that poke check from Finney. But instead, he just kind of skates through. And I don't know. He's a smart player, so I'm kind of surprised he took that risk. But with Ekholm back, it's not as bad as it could have been if he was the last guy. And yeah, turns into a little 2-on-1, and still not great. Could have been worse. But yeah, I would have liked to see him just chip it in. Take a clapper in or something, or just get really in front of the puck so you know that poke check isn't going to go through your legs like that. But just trying to like stick out, dangle there right at the blue line is not the best play. So I'm noticing Bouchard kind of has this lackadaisical style to how he plays, where he has like a calmness to him. And I think I would like to see a bit more intensity from him, but I think that calmness comes down to he's very intelligent and can read the flow of the game well. And he's really good at taking sticks. So if you see here, he's doing a great job of tying up Copp's stick while also anticipating that pass down. Because as I always say, they're on the penalty kill here. When you're on the penalty kill, you're playing a bunch of constant 2-on-1. So the 2-on-1 there, the 2-on-1 here, that's for Ekholm, and then this one here. So you're kind of always anticipating that, and you can't fully commit to a guy. So he's doing a great job. He's got a stick tied up with Copp, but he's also taking away that pass and putting his body between them. So he's doing a good job. And people might look at him and say he lacks intensity or whatever, which I do kind of agree with. But part of that comes down to he's a pretty intelligent player. So here we have the opening draw of the second period, and Bouchard does something I don't really like to see very often. It's a tough play to pull off. So we see he gets the puck off the draw, and then he immediately tries to take it into this crowd. And if you look here, like, he's not a running back in football. This is not, you don't have blockers and all that. So I would like to see him take it back, draw out the forwards, let your guys set up, get into their regroup positioning. But instead he tries to take it through, and he gets jammed up. And then they take it back, and look, we have Raymond drawn down, we have the other forwards getting drawn out, and now look at all the space that's generated. You're allowing Draisaitl here to set up, get some speed. And there we go. Nice little breakout, and they enter the zone. So that just on those opening draws like that, I see a lot of defensemen do that, especially younger defensemen. If you watch really good defensemen, a lot of time they pull it back or they hit the wide guy on some sort of set play. So just a key aspect is drawing out their forwards and spreading it out. Here Bouchard makes another funny little blunder, which I've talked about in other videos, and it's when there's a high flip. So see that high flip that's coming in, which I talk about high flips all the time, super effective. And Bouchard is on the guy here, but he's going for the puck. And in these scenarios, when you're the last guy back, I would rather see you just keep an eye on this guy, keep an eye on the puck too, if you can see it, and just keep backing up with him. And when you do this, when the puck lands, you can go back to playing defense, and then you have a great gap on the guy, and he's not going to get much going. You just want to match his speed and stay between him and the net. And now he gets caught, and it's a little B-way, and that could have been worse than it was. Bouchard does a nice job here of reading this wrap around the boards. As you can see, everyone's kind of caught down here, and Bouchard reads it well. And just as I've said before, when you get the puck in this zone, you want to get it to the middle somehow with your body or by making a pass. So Bouchard does a good job. The other option is just a little chip down here, but either way, great little play. At the end of that shift there, I think it was DeBrincat that kind of laid the lumber, slashed Bouchard there. And I'm just putting this one in here because I think as D partners, you guys are like brothers and you always have to have each other's back. And as you can see here, Ekholm isn't even paying attention to what's going on. And Bouchard and DeBrincat get into it here. And Ekholm turns around and immediately goes to get involved. And that's what a good D partner does. Their chemistry, I've noticed, is really good. And I just want to show that to you guys because I think it is a very important aspect of being a good D partner. It's just having your D partners back all the time. So this one we got another little shift of Bouchard showing off his skating. He's a very good skater and he's holding a great gap. He's making Raymond change direction and give up some of his speed. So just from Bouchard holding that tight gap has made Raymond have to move the puck. And in doing that, they kind of lose that momentum they had from the rush. And then Bouchard does a great job of taking a stick, taking a body, and again, showing his defensive intelligence. And he gets a little physical there too. We like that. Okay, nice job. So here we have Bouchard. He tends to have this thing where he's trying to anticipate the dump. And I think, as I've said before, he's really good at reading the flow of the game and anticipating what's going to happen. But I think it gets him in trouble sometimes. And I don't know if it's like a laziness thing or what, but I would like to just see him get up a bit more. And if the dump happens, it happens. I think he does that because obviously you get to the puck quicker and you avoid getting that hit. But here, if he was up a little bit tighter, Soderblom here would not have as much of a threat as he is. Obviously, like if this was a better player, this could have gone worse. And that's just from the bad angle. So if we back it up a little bit here, if Bouchard was up here, like I said, he could have angled Soderblom there and he wouldn't even probably had a shot off. So just the subtle little gap control and not trying to cheat the dumps would have avoided that. A lot of younger defensemen, I think, struggle with where to line up on the draw. And something that I think is really important to take into consideration is giving yourself the best probability of getting the puck. And one way to do that is to hang back a bit. And then that allows you to skate into the puck. And then the other thing is to kind of get off the wall. Like Bouchard being on the wall here, he's kind of limiting himself. So his angle now that he can kind of get the puck is here. And as you'll see, Draisaitl wins it straight back. So if Bouchard was kind of back here, he would 100% get it. And even if it came to the wall where he was, he still could have got that. So when you line up for the draw, just think of what will give you the highest probability of getting the puck. and you want to always skate into the puck. So being nice and close looks cool, and it can work out, and then like walking off the wall, it's not going to serve you well all the time. So just think about that when you line up for the draw, playing the best probability of getting the puck. This shift here, Bouchard shows why he's always anticipating those dumps and why it's kind of screwing him with the gap sometimes. But this time it works out great. So he anticipates this dump right here, and you'll see him, he's right in the corner. So by anticipating that dump, it gave him obviously tons of time, and it allows him to do this nasty little pass, which was very impressive, and nice little breakout. But I want to show you guys something. If you look here, this defenseman didn't see it, but a little cross ice pass here, chip here, and all of a sudden, Bouchard's way down in the corner. He might be coming up with a bad gap, and we have ourselves a dangerous scoring opportunity. So that dump anticipation is risky. Obviously, it leads to that nice pass, but it gets him in trouble, as we've seen before. Bouchard and Ekholm do a great job here of showing a 2-on-2 with back pressure. When you have that back pressure, and it's 2-on-2, so it's equal numbers, you want to not give the zone. You do not want to give that up. Ekholm's pressuring in. Bouchard is holding his zone here. And as you'll see, you got that back pressure on Kane there. And it's just a turnover. And now you got these two guys caught. And it turns into a nice little breakout. So that play, again, that gap control, not letting them enter your defensive zone, leads to a great little scoring chance right here. So Bouchard's doing what he likes to do. He's kind of hanging back and anticipating the dump, which, as I mentioned before, there's risk to it, but he reads it properly, which, again, I've said it before, he's a very smart player. Reads it, and he has Berggren here on the puck. And when you come at a guy like this, you have two options. You have to be sure you're getting the puck, or you take the body. You can't do neither, because you end up getting walked. So Bouchard does a little half-ass stick check thing and doesn't hit the guy, and Berggren just walks right around him. Thankfully he had numbers, but if he didn't, like, that could be bad. And I've noticed him do that a few times where he kind of cheats a little bit. He's wanting to get that like cheeky little poke check and not have to like really play the body or really get dirty. And I think that can get you in trouble in the corners, and as a defenseman, it's really important to either take the puck or the body. One thing I really like about Bouchard is he's really talented at making that first pass. He's really good at passing, and he's very smart. And he uses one of my favorite plays here, the old high flip. And look, he catches two of the wings guys right here, just on that little high flip. So just that little high flip there is an effective little breakout. It diffuses the pressure, and it makes the Red Wings have to go at it again. And sometimes that works out into a nice little rush. So my thoughts on Bouchard, the things I like is that he's very intelligent. He can read the flow of the game very well. He has a very effective shot. His release is quick. He's accurate. He has a big shot. We didn't have that many clips of him shooting, but he does have a really nice shot, which is very crucial as a defenseman. The things I didn't really like is that I found him kind of cheating in scenarios, and I think as I said, he's intelligent, but I think that's getting him into trouble. And he has that calmness, which I mentioned I do like, but I would like to see a bit more urgency. I would like to see a bit more physicality from him, or just kind of that grinding, get dirty mentality, because in playoffs especially, it's very important to have that as a defenseman, because you play the same guys night over night. You really want to make it so they don't want to be around you. So overall, I think he's above average offensively. His defensive awareness is above average. Like, he can really read the flow very well, and his hockey IQ is high. But I don't think he's elite offensively, and I don't think he's elite defensively. So overall, I think he's above average defenseman, but I don't think he's an elite defenseman. Controversial opinion, I'm sure, but the things I think that you can learn from him is understanding the flow of the game, and how having a big, accurate shot can really propel you to good places as a defenseman. So for younger defensemen, really practice your shot. Practice it in all scenarios, moving, snap shot, slap shot, wrist shot, one-timer. Really hone that in, and it will get you to really good places as a defenseman. I'm not saying that's the only thing that's gotten Bouchard to where he is, but it's just something that you can really learn from him, and also how he reads the flow of the game. So that's it, guys. Let me know in the comments who you want me to analyze next or any matchups you want to see. I'm doing full game breakdowns of the NHL's top defensemen to pass on my knowledge of defense to you, so hopefully you can see the game a little bit deeper. Hope you enjoyed.